Decades after they stopped being children, I know people who still can't hear the opening music of Doctor Who without wanting to hide behind the couch. It used to terrify me as a kid. That's good telly. Generations of children terrified by it, and for a long time its special effects budget frankly looked like it was about £4.50 a week. But the programme's now been running for 50 years, and to celebrate that, a special event is on Auckland tomorrow for the kind of people who collect these things, featuring 4 of the men who have played Doctor Who before they meet with hundreds of obsessive fans at the Lords of Time event. They were forced, the poor buggers, to meet with Lachlan Forsyth and Tristram Clayton.
If you're after a trip through time, travel, technology, Motat is the place to come. But Tristram and I were here for a doctor's appointment.
So we're meeting here, right?
Apparently so. And these men know a few things about time travel technology.
Colin Baker, the 6th Doctor Who. Sylvester McCoy, the 7th. Paul McGann, the 8th. And Nick Briggs, writer and voice of the Daleks.
Gentlemen, lovely to meet you all.
Hello, hi.
Hello. Maybe a little bit impersonal for an occasion like this. Why don't you step this way? We'll come somewhere.
Come to our office. This way. Walk this way.
This way, please, gentlemen. Safely inside, we began by asking how the same character could be played by so many different actors.
That helps us actually to get on because we're all so different. Yeah. We're not competing on the same ground really because we all brought different things to it.
Because I took over from Colin and the script writers didn't know I was going to do that, and so I was doing Colin's lines and I could hear them. I could sometimes hear a line and I thought of Colin, just thought of him, and then as I developed it I suddenly thought of John Pertwee sometimes. Oh, that's just like John Pertwee would do. And so I just thought of these various doctors and just hoped that...
You thought of me?
Well, yeah.
You didn't think of me when you took my job, did you?
Well, I mean, you left your costume lying around, I climbed into it, they lost me for 3 days, and when I came out, well, I was the doctor.
Doctor?
You're expecting someone else? That's 3 eyes in one breath. Makes you sound a rather egotistical young lady.
What's happened?
Change, my dear.
It's interesting, my personality is to hate and destroy them all.
What do you want to do to them?
Exterminate them.
What is this like? Seeing yourselves as part of this huge piece of British culture?
It is a rare honour.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only, what was it last year, some of the British Olympians were on it.
Yeah.
And aside from those, I think we're the only people, living people, to be commemorated on stamps.
If you told me when I was a kid walking to school that, well, if you told me I'd ever drive a car, I'd have been amazed. But this, it's just...
I mean, having people lick the back of your head and stamping your face. It's just
a rare treat. But it's lovely because there's a sense of permanence about it.
Yeah.
And what is it? So what is it about Doctor Who that's got to this literally iconic state?
Well, it's kind of a story.
It's a great story.
Yeah, they're about, they say there are 5 stories under the sun, and that man's genius is to take them and reinterpret them all the way through time. And this is one of those stories about someone coming from outside the world down to, takes on the human form and tries to save us from evil. And it's been going on since, way back, since time immemorial. That
The Lone
story's been
Ranger,
told.
Clint Eastwood, the man with no name.
Yeah, the Greeks.
All those people who ride in.
on the same thing.
Yeah.
If we fight like animals, we'll die like animals! If we fight like animals, we die like animals!
One of the reasons why it's so popular, because life itself is so uncertain and difficult and unfathomable. And in Doctor Who, everything's quite certain. You know who the bad guys are, you know who the good guy is, and you know that inevitably the good guy is going to win. And the Daleks, in a bizarre way, are reassuring because they're so bad, and you can be certain about it. You don't think, is he nice or not?
It seems every generation has these terrifying stories. Doctor Who, in some way, do you delight in knowing that you're scaring children? And
Yeah, it's great.
Get them where they belong, behind the sofa.
was doing a signing once, and there was a queue of children just wanting things signed, and I suddenly saw this little girl, and she was terrified. I mean, real terror. It was actually frightening. It was sad. It was horrible. I thought, oh my God, what's happened? I looked around, and a Dalek had just gone behind me, and I had to get up and go to her and say, don't worry, I'm the doctor. You're safe with me.
I think what happens is people who were scared by it 30 years ago when they watch it again and can't believe they were scared. Therefore they say, oh, the shaky sets. I used to love watching it because of the rubbish monsters and the shaky sets. No, you didn't. That was state of the art then.
It was.
You were scared. You just can't admit it later.
What's it like watching the modern Doctor Who now?
Well, I get envious. What could be done with the budget, the special effects, and the fact that the BBC seems to love it now, which they weren't deeply fond of it when we were doing it.
No, they weren't. They wanted to get rid of it.
It's a loved programme now.
Well, they did get rid of it.
They did.
Yeah.
Yes, they use the word flagship now, don't they, for it? It's a flagship show, which is, of course, the one I work on.
They used to take off but when we did it, they took away the flag and they put another word that sounds like ship in it.
Who are your fans?
Infinite variety.
Yeah, more so now. There's much more of a spread. I think probably there was a time when
Geeky males.
there were fellas of a certain age and disposition. But now, now it's
You move beyond that.
Yeah, lots of kids now, lots of kids.
Lots of kids,
Which is
Yeah.
really
I think that's by
lovely.
dint of the new
And parents
of the new
who
show.
loved the programme when they were young,
Yeah.
introducing their kids to it. So they do come to conventions as families. Whereas when we were doing it, it was bored parents dragging their teenage or younger than teenage boys along who insisted on going and they weren't interested.
Do that again.
We like this TARDIS inside so much, we're going to keep it. So we'd quite like for you to go.
Who were they?
No idea.
Did they pay the bill?
God, I can't believe we're kicked out of our own TARDIS. Oh no, how are we going to get back? Looks like we'll have to use the TARDIS.